children gathered around the dining room table.
One local grandfather is saying goodbye to his family as he volunteers for a second tour of duty in Iraq. John Delano has a story you'll see only on KDKA. John.
You know, Ken, at a time when most people his age are thinking retirement, one local Army reservist has volunteered for a second tour of duty in Iraq. Jim Hill says part of the reason he's heading back is his commitment to family and the families of every serviceman and servicewoman who will be in his command. For Hill, he's already thinking about how to bring everyone home safely for next Christmas.
Our primary mission at the time over there was looking for what they call IED. IEDs, roadside bombs, in and around Baghdad. It was a very dangerous job.
In 2004, Army Reserve Command Sergeant Major Jim Hill was called up for service in Iraq. A call-up experience by many. But Hill is now 58 years old, and he's just volunteered to serve a second tour in Iraq.
I received a phone call and asked if I'd go, and I said yes.
Hill hopes his experience will help troops come home safely.
It's all about these soldiers, the younger soldiers that I'm taking over this time around. And we learned an awful lot on my year deployment over there. So I can carry that with me now to these troops to make sure that they're trained properly. Get them over there and get them back home.
The Mount Lebanon resident who grew up in Oakland is no stranger to combat. 40 years ago, he served 2 years in the jungles of Vietnam, a Marine and scuba diver. But back then, he was a single, carefree teenager. Now, the birth of young James has made Hill a grandfather.
I have a brand new grandson now that's 7 months old. That's really tugging at my heartstrings. But, you know, there's a lot of young soldiers that are going forward, and they all have families back home, too. So somebody's got to do it, so why not me?
Hill leaves the day after New Year's for a year-long tour of duty, knowing this will be his last military service for his country.
They'll push me out when I turn 60.
And as the clock ticks away until his departure to Iraq from Pittsburgh, Grandpa relishes every moment with his grandson.
Want me to read you a story? The Soldier's Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the days, only sentries were stirring. They guarded the place. As the camp raider lost the Santa, I heard this faint call. Happy Christmas, brave soldiers. May peace come to all.
May peace come to all. Not a bad ending to that story, or the real story that James's grandfather is about to engage in Iraq. Sergeant Major Hill says he's sure other grandfathers are serving in Iraq, but he doesn't know of any around here who volunteer to go back for a second tour as they push 60. One other point, unlike Vietnam, where the only communication with families took days of mail delivery, he hopes to go online to see his grandson on webcams as much as possible. Live from the newsroom, I'm John Delano.
We certainly wish him well, John. Good to see it. He's just collecting more stories to tell his grandson. Look at that one.
He loved those stories, you could tell. What a cutie. Well, let's head over to meteorologist